Hello and welcome back to Novel Gaming. I'm Doug.
I'm Katie.
And we played Date Everything, a 2025 game from Sassy Chap Games and Team 17 where you date everything.
Yeah, the title tells it all.
You can play it on Switch, Xbox, PC, PlayStation, whatever.
Yeah.
Katie,
yes.
How would you describe Date Everything in one sentence?
Yeah, I would describe it as a dating sim visual novel where you are in a house and you date everything in your house.
Honestly, I don't know what I could possibly add to that that we won't get like specifically into. I think the name of the game is meant to communicate kind of exactly what it is. And so all you really have to add is the setting, which is that you're in a house and the everything is your stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much covers it. One thing I will say is that, we try to give people a heads up on stuff that might be in a game or a story so that you can make sort of an informed choice for yourself. This is a unique scenario where there are over 100 characters and there are branching narratives. It is impossible for us to give an accurate comprehensive sort of heads up on stuff that might be in the game. But is there anything you have encountered that you would feel compelled to let folks know?
I mean, one of the things I'll say is there's sex in the game. Because sometimes dating sims don't have sex in it. There's also some of these characters have trauma. And so there was like a house fire. There's straight up a character that talks about nightmarish things and fears. There's, I would say, honestly, a lot of different stuff that could trigger people depending on what they're carrying. But one of the things about this game that is super cool is that there is a feature called Content Aware. And you'll get a prompt to say, hey, would you want this on? There's some things in this game that we can give you a heads up in, and that you can either in the moment say, yeah, I'd like to continue, or no, I wouldn't like to continue. So if you're somebody who, there's also like maybe murder. I've
encountered some toxic relationship behavior with some characters.
Definitely. So the game is very upfront and allows you opportunity to be like, nope, I'm good with this one. Bye, sort of thing.
Very, very cool of them to have it and how that content aware option works. One thing that I find really interesting, and the thing that I was most curious about with regards to Date Everything, knowing how many characters were going to be in it and knowing that they were marketing it as this thing where you can kind of just point at anything and date it, like there's a character associated with kind of anything. I just didn't understand how that would be like manageable in a game. And so the first thing I want to talk about is just how the environment of this game works, how you sort of interact with that environment, how they've managed to manage 100 characters, because I think it's actually really impressive.
Yeah, it totally is. And I think they do a good job of, using the tutorial character, Skylar, to like set up the kind of baseline of how this is all going to play out sort of thing. The idea of put these amazingly named date-viators on that are aviators with cool ombre like glasses. You then get a little love bubble gun to shoot hearts at things that then pop up as humans. So what about that bed? You want to shoot some hearts at that bed? Hell yeah. The bed's gonna talk to you.
Yep. And have a full character design and personality and voice actor.
All of them voice acted?
Incredible.
Unreal.
There's everything is fully voice acted. Everything is fully voice acted. On their website, they specifically say there's over 70,000 voice lines, and all of them are voice acted, which is incredible.
Yeah.
The thing that I think is like particularly impressive about it is like, I haven't played a ton of dating games, but one of the things that's interesting about dating games is like, oh, if I am dating this person or this is the relationship I want to pursue, I wonder where we'll go. I wonder what we'll see. I wonder where they'll take me. And I think they managed to do something really smart with this game, which is like, no, you're a homebody and you don't really leave your house.
Actually.
And you're not really allowed to once you have the date viators, because the whole experience will just kind of end. And so they've created a world that is your house where characters might travel or go places or show you something, but it's all still within the confines of the house. And there's this sort of, you can't think about it too much, and they don't want you to think about it too much, but there is this idea that, like, if I'm talking to a table, that table is a person who has been around the house and talked to other things, even though the table itself doesn't move. And they just figured out this really clever way to be like, yeah, it's 100 characters, but their setting is so limited. We don't have to build outside of the house. Everything's in the house. Everything you could see, everywhere you could go, everybody that you could encounter is right here in this limited environment. And it doesn't feel limited because there's so much stuff to interact with.
Yeah. One of the things that I was interested in too at the start is like, so when you point your little heart crosshairs on things that you can shoot the love gun at, the like crosshairs kind of like glow and get a little bigger, become a more vibrant pink to show like this is something you can date, and it gets outlined in like a white outline. And that's how you know, okay, if I want to date my floor, I got to make sure to hit this specific floor. Some of the characters and objects like repeat throughout the house. So windows, curtains, and rods. And I was like, okay, how is this going to work? Is this going to be the same set of characters? Is this going to be different characters? And it's the window is the window character in every window. Yeah. And sometimes, depending on where you talk to them, there are different scenes that play out based in the environment they're in. So the curtains and rods that you talk to down at the front door tell you something different or interact with different people than when you talk to them up in the workout room.
Yeah. And it's funny too, because like the first time I encountered that was probably with like the tables, where I was sort of like, oh, wait, I've met this person, but it was somewhere else. And at first I was sort of like, oh, that's kind of a bummer. But it's written so well, and there's so much like fun stuff that they can do with it, and that they do with it, that I actually love it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like the structure of 5 charges and you can talk to people once a day?
At the start, I was like, okay, I gotta be really intentional about how I use these charges. And then later I was like, it doesn't really matter because you can just keep going forever. And so then I stopped being worried about it. Because at first I was like, all right, I already talked to this person like yesterday, so I'm going to see if I can find a new character. I was trying to like find them all at first, and then I met a character, and I was like, actually, I want to see your story through all the way. Is this going to end things? Like, and then it didn't. So then I'm like, okay, well, if I find a character that I really want to hear more about, like regularly, I'm gonna just go for it. It like. Oh my God, is interesting because time of day sometimes impacts how the characters react to you.
Yeah. There are certain times where they're sort of like, I'm sorry, I'm busy if you come back later tonight. Or there are certain things get prompted if you interact with, like certain other unrelated things get prompted if you interact with a character at a different time of day.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I'm amazed with how much story there is for different characters. The fact that most characters encountered do have a story. One way that they do balance it is that, like, some characters, there's like humor in how quickly they either love you, friend you, or hate you. So like they manage it in that way too. But I'm so impressed with how, like, the depth of the game.
Yeah, I agree. It's a super impressive game, a super fun game.
Thumbs up?
Oh yeah, 2 thumbs up. I'm really enjoying this game. Yeah.
100 thumbs up.
200.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's so much fun. I honestly think, even for folks who wouldn't typically gravitate to a dating game specifically, I feel like could get a kick out of this just based on how creative it is.
Yeah, agreed. Well, thanks everybody for watching. If you played Date Everything, let us know what you think. If you want to hear a more in-depth conversation and a much longer conversation, you can check out our link to our podcast episode in the description below. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you soon with a new video.
See ya.
Bye.